Damian Lillard has still not been traded. He might not be traded. He might not get traded. Will he get traded? Will he go to the Heat? Will Dame actually let another team get involved? I don't know. At this point, I don't know. You guys know I'm a Magic fan, right? And if I'm a Magic fan, I'm not a fan of the Heat. I am a big fan of Dame, though. So I'm one of the people who don't want Dame to go to the Heat. I'm totally fine with Dame staying with the Blazers or another team getting involved and Dame being open to leaving. I think as they drag this out, I actually think he gets more and more open to the fact of playing somewhere else besides Miami. But there are a lot of rumors out there, a lot of stories out there that he doesn't want to play anywhere but Miami. He's not willing to play for these other teams. If he gets traded there, he's trying to kind of, lay that groundwork for teams not to be interested in trying to trade. I don't know if that's true or if it's just rumors, but let's go ahead and bring this up here. We have Dame Lillard trade update from Woj. The Heat are the most motivated team to trade for Lillard. Obviously, that's all we've heard about. The Clippers would love to be involved in the process if they don't have the necessary assets that Portland is seeking. How do the Heat? The Heat don't have the assets either. And anything that is worth it, they don't want to trade anyway. I can't stand that about the Heat fans. Heat fans think that, hey, we got them backed into a corner. We don't have to give up a whole bunch. As long as we can keep a bunch of these young guys that we really like, or at least one or two of them. What? You shouldn't get to keep nothing. You want Dame, right? Dame is one of the best players in the NBA. You don't just get him for a couple scraps, a couple of first-round picks. You think that makes everything sound sweet? That ain't how this works. The Trailblazers don't love Miami's offer. No shit. But it might be the best they ultimately get. That's crazy. I'm sorry, but that's crazy if that's true. Portland could potentially drag this process out close to training camp in order to extract maximum value from Miami. That's a smart move. The Blazers have no reason to rush into this. And this tweet is from Evan Sittery. Listen, the Blazers have no reason to rush into this. The Blazers have absolutely zero reason to trade Damian Lillard right now. There's no reason to rush into it. There's no, urgency. There's no reason to help Miami get what they want as quickly as possible. The Blazers are not going to change whether they get a bunch of players or not. It kind of is what it is. You're in a transition no matter what if you're trading Dame, right? You just drafted Scoot. You got a pretty, decent group of young players. If you trade Dame, you're in no rush. That just is what it is. You're pressing the reset button. If you ever were even started in the first place, because that's why Dame wants out. So there's no rush from the Blazers. Clearly, they have not run their organization the greatest, and that's why Dame is unhappy. And so do you really think they're going to rush into this by any means? I don't think so. So they have no motivation to rush into it. The Heat would love them to rush into it. But if they keep pushing the Heat back, the Heat are going to have to keep upping the offer or they're going to get stuck. And I don't believe the Heat are willing to get stuck, right? I believe that they're going to fight to the end regardless. So even if another team does end up with Dame, I don't believe that the Heat are just going to back down or be like, hey, leave it or take it. I just don't think they will. I don't think the Heat want to be, looked at in that way as if they didn't try hard enough or they kind of made an ultimatum. I just don't think the Heat are in a position to do that. And I don't think they want to do that. I don't see it playing out that way for them. I just don't. I just don't, think that's the way they want to approach it. Again, for me, there's all sides of this. Everyone's like, oh, Dame signed a contract. Shouldn't he honor it? I'm not asking him to honor it. I don't care about that. I don't care about him requesting a trade. The team hasn't played well. Totally understandable. If you feel like they're not doing what they need to, get you to a championship as quickly as you would like to, then by all means, request a trade. He doesn't have a no trade clause. He doesn't have anything to force this. The Blazers, again, are in no position to trade him. They can actually just sit on it. Like, hey, we're not going to trade you. Either come back and play with us or don't. Totally up to you. We do have this quote here from, this was tweeted by Will Manso, but it's the Blazers commenting on this. And it's Blazers GM Joe Cronin explaining how Damian Lillard's request to only be traded to Miami Heat makes things tougher. As a team, you always hope, that you have more options. He adds, it's something we'll have to work through. Again, will they eventually honor it? You see a lot of people saying that if they don't honor it, it's messed up. If they don't honor it, it looks bad for the Blazers, right? Like Dame's done nothing wrong to them. He's done nothing to, deserve to not get traded where he wants to, do right by this guy who's giving your organization everything. That is one way to look at it. I don't believe that they trade him somewhere else that veterans will not want to sign there or players won't want to sign there. Players are ultimately going to chase the money. Like at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do. There's not many players who will refuse to chase the money and will just literally cut off, options entirely, unless it's just a super, super, super bad situation. And by any means, even if they did that and put themselves in a situation where it didn't look good, the organization could adjust to kind of fix the situation, put a Band-Aid on it, and make people forget. We live in a culture where things move so fast, news changes so fast. Someone's a bad guy today, they're a great guy tomorrow. We forget all about it. So listen, it's not going to be any different for the Blazers. If people don't like what they do today, it's not like they're going to be cursed for 100 years. It's not the way it plays out. So in this case, again, I'm not mad at it. I think, the Blazers should take their time. I don't have no issue with Dame requesting the trade, even though he signed a contract. I know there's going to be people in the comments like, hey, I hate when players do this. I hate when players sign contracts for 6 years, 4 years, 3 years, and they demand to be traded. I hate it. I'm a man of my word. I want you to honor your contract. I get it. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, if someone's unhappy, why do you want them there? Why do you want them there in the first place, right? Like, if they're unhappy, just move on about it. There's no reason to, keep someone there. I know it's like, Neil, they're not a prisoner. They're getting paid billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Everything is sweet. They're playing the game they love. I get it, but still, I'm not a fan of like keeping people miserable. Like by any means, that's not really my thing. So I'm cool with the trade request. I'm not cool with like forcing their hand to only be Miami. And who knows? That could be exaggerated, right? Like I don't know. I don't think he's come out and straight up said that. He won't want to say that. It won't look good for him if he said that. But at the end of the day, I personally think he would be open to other situations because there are other teams that are really good in the NBA who could potentially swing this deal. More than likely, everyone's thinking that if the Heat do get him, though, other teams are going to have to be involved. And again, what's the motivation for them? There's got to be something in it for them that they really like, whether that's Miami throwing assets in there, whether it's the Trailblazers throwing things in there, or if it's those teams, throwing assets back and forth to each other. I don't know. But I'm curious what you think. Is Dame wrong for requesting a trade, or do you think it's, totally fair? He's given them everything. It's different than a player, playing for 1 year, doing really well, not happy, asks for a trade. Dame is not doing that. Dame's been there his entire career. And he's never complained. He's never made a big deal about it. He's crushed it every single year. There's not like he's been dealing with injuries or not showing up or, he's had all these down seasons. He is like clockwork, Dame. You know what to expect every single time. So I'm not mad at Dame's request. I hope he ends up where he wants to end up. I hate if it is the Heat because I'm not a Heat fan. Not that I want him to go to the Magic either, but I just don't want to see him go to our rival. You understand? But again, ultimately, if he's happy, we're all happy. It is what it is. Will they win if they get Dame? It'll give them a much better chance. I don't think it locks anything in for them though. I still think things are difficult. When you look at the West and some of the other teams that are rising up everywhere else across the league, I think the Heat, whether they get Dame or not, are still gonna, it's not gonna be a cakewalk, to the NBA Finals. So